You're listening to Tin Pod Radio. My name is Becky, and you can find me on Instagram at Clariness Princess or on YouTube at Two Zealous Nerds.
I'm Miza. I'm a cosplayer, and I'm a cosplayer who does cosplaying for fun, and I guess due to this recent controversy, a lot of stuff has happened, I suppose.
If you want to, would you like to discuss that a little bit to start out, and then we'll go back to your beginnings?
Okay. Well, recently, a cosplayer named Mary Ryder, I believe, had said some racial slurs and some disrespectful things towards my cosplay. Due to since we both had, I guess, similar interests, well, similar cosplays. I had commented on one of her posts and in excitement, sort of due to the fact that, I mean, if there are two cosplayers who do the same cosplay, it's kind of interesting to see that, other cosplayers are in the same fandom and stuff like that. And I guess she didn't really like that and sort of turned it more into a race issue. And which sparked a lot of turmoil in the cosplay community.
Yeah, I'll admit I have a very limited scope when it comes to the cosplayers. I used to when it came to the cosplayers I followed online. So I was just hearing like people bring up issues. So and then it was brought to my attention. Somebody was like, "What's going on?" Was this always? I ain't saying was there always racism in cosplay, but was this one of the first times when you experienced it personally?
No, this is not one of the first times. 4 years ago, I experienced the same thing. 4 years ago, I used to, this was like when I was like, I don't know, I guess like 16, 15. I used to cosplay a lot on my page, and like, I used to get like a few like racial slurs every once in a while, and or like, people just disrespecting me in general. And it sort of drove me to like not want to cosplay anymore, and I sort of like threw all my cosplays out. But recently, about like a year ago, I started getting back into cosplay again, and racism has been a thing. I mean, not recently, but recently now, and last year I had went to a con as 2B, and like everyone some people who wanted to take pictures with me had, instead of calling me like, "Hey 2B, can I take a picture?" a lot of them said stuff like, "Oh, hey Black 2B, can you take a picture with me?" Blah 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 blah.
How did you actually get started in cosplay?
Well, when I was younger, my dad he had got me into anime at a very young age, and when I was like 8, elementary school, I really, really liked an anime called Death Note. And as a kid, I wouldn't recommend that for kids, but me being me, I guess, I was able to watch a lot of things that not a lot of kids were not able to when they were younger. So I was able to watch Death Note, and I had went to school one day when we had Halloween Day, and I dressed up as a cute, age-appropriate Miizahime, and nobody knew who I was. But I mean, I liked anime at a young age, so that's really what prompted me into like getting into it.
And that was your first cosplay you did, the Death Note character?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Cool. I'm a fan of Death Note, so like I know that for little kids, most little kids wouldn't be watching that probably.
Yeah.
Uh, so you've been cosplaying for how long? Do you say?
Since I was like 8.
Okay. How many different costumes do you think you've done over the years?
I would say like maybe 14.
14. Cool.
Yeah, but a lot of those cosplays that I've done in the past are not like accessible anymore. Like
Hmm.
they're gone. Um, I mean, you could probably find some of them somewhere, but I don't have any like pictures. Like I have like maybe 2 or 3 of old pictures that I used to do. Aside from that, no, I can't even find anymore.
What part of cosplay do you like the most? Is it building the costumes? Is it photography? Or
Well, I'm not a fan of like making like sewing stuff. I'm not a seamstress. I remember one year I had tried to make a Steven Universe outfit and I successfully did it, but the top for Lapis Lazuli was too small for me. So I totally just was like, I'm not gonna sew any more of my cosplays. But I do like prop making. So prop making definitely is something that I like doing.
with that being something you like the most, is there something that you would say is your real strength? Is it the prop making?
I would say when it comes to prop making, maybe just like I guess being innovative and like just using things that like I like recoloring, repainting, and using things that normally people I guess wouldn't use and like use it to my own advantage. Like I know now I'm gonna try to do Shootin, which is a character from Fate. And I really, really, really like her, so I'm gonna try to like make her props as well as I'm not gonna make her kimono. I'm probably gonna get that commissioned. I'm not a seamstress, so I can't do that, but I'm gonna definitely try her props. Her props are everything.
Is there something that I mean? You talk about sewing work. Is there something that you would like to be able to do better? Is it sewing work, or is it something else that you would really like to get better at?
I think sewing is definitely something I would like to get better at. It's not that I can't do it. It's just like right now my sewing machine is broken. Like the actual top half of it is the needle broke. So that's long gone. So I have to get a replacement. And it's also the fact that I'm impatient and I'm actually really bad at math. So sometimes my inches are off and the costume would either be too small or maybe too small. It would just be too small.
um, when you talked about the first time you cosplayed, was that at a convention?
Oh no, the first time I cosplayed was at my school when I
Okay.
was little.
What's the first convention or event you've ever been to cosplaying?
I guess the first ever one was probably ToshoCon, which is here where I live in New Jersey. It's like a small library con, and then after that, then I went to Anime Next, and then CPAC, etc., etc.
What's your thoughts on conventions? Do you enjoy them? Do you like the crowds or not so much? Or
It actually depends. Like I go to conventions, most likely just to meet other cosplayers and to take other pictures with other cosplayers, and to like do photography, like to have like my costumes, to just get like pictures of my costumes as well. Sometimes I go for like the artist alley as well because there are some amazing artists there. Sometimes I may go to panels, but not all the times. Recently, every convention that I went to, I didn't really enjoy most of the panels. So I just laid back with my friends and just took pictures of cosplayers all day.
uh, do you like cosplaying with other people, or are you mainly a solo cosplayer?
I love cosplaying with other people. I actually encourage like people to like come up to me and ask like, "Hey, can we cosplay together?" It's like that's the best thing ever.
Cool. Do you remember the first time somebody asked you for your photo at?
Yeah. The first time I think someone asked me for my photo was when I went to ToshoCon as 2B and like they were like, "Oh my God, can I have your photo?"
And have you gotten used to people asking you for your photos and stuff?
Uh, it depends actually. Sometimes I get like a little caught off guard, and I'm just like, "Oh my God." There was one time where me and my friend we were doing Rambu at Sakura Matsuri, and we were eating, and like people kept hovering over us to take pictures. It's so crazy.
When it comes to like different conventions and different events and stuff, do you always have a cosplay planned for that specific event, or do you use different ones at different times?
I usually have a specific cosplay plan for each con, so I have lineup. So if I'm going to KatsuCon next year, my lineup would be Pyramid Head, Shuden, and possibly Frankenstein's Monster Berserk from Fate. Like, and I will plan it for each day, like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or I will do AM, PM, or either AM or PM in that day because like usually cons are only 3 days and you want to kind of get all of your cosplays in.
One of the questions like people like for me to ask cosplayers is, do you have an emergency cosplay that you take to a convention? Maybe one where you don't feel like dressing elaborately or anything, or like one that you can just throw on.
No.
No.
No. I usually like flashy cosplays. My friend always asks me why do I never, sometimes I do like non-flashy cosplays. Like I did Akira Fudo, but then I also like try to put a spin on it with like doing kind of like a different version with the makeup and stuff since his like regular fit is so plain and I couldn't like do the actual Devilman thing in time. But I really like flashy, like elaborate cosplays. Like I did Narrow Bride. It was awesome. But yeah, I can't. My friends do that, but I'm just like, no, I'm just gonna suffer.
um, have you ever had like, not in a really really bad way, but sometimes just in a frustrating way? Have you ever had a costume that just would not work when you got there? It was falling apart, or it kept messing up, or
Yeah, that was I had did Great Fairy. Everybody thought I was Poison Ivy, but I had did Great Fairy, and I remember like the bottles that I had, the fairy bottles were like spilling and sort of like falling apart, but I had fixed it with extra corks that I had brought with me. But aside from that, it was a good thing.
when you talk about like going to conventions and getting photos with people, do you usually like you like having photos with other cosplayers, but do you usually like do like group ones with like you're going with a friend and they're dressed as the same universe of characters, or do you just go different?
Oh yeah, I always like advocate for like wanting to. I always like say if someone takes a picture of me, like they just want a set picture of me, but I came with a group. I'm always like, oh my god, wait, no, I came in a group. Do you wanna take a picture of all of us? Because like we sometimes do like group cosplays. Like I remember when I was Akira and everyone kept trying to take a picture of my Akira, and I was just like, guys, I have a Miki. Do you guys want to take pictures with my Miki too? So it was like that. So.
We all know like with cosplaying, it's become a big thing with like photos and photo shoots and stuff. Is that something you're interested in, doing the photo shoots and stuff?
Oh yeah, I love photo shoots. I booked one. I booked one last Anime Next. This Anime Next. I love them. They're really fun, and they actually show a good like they it's good quality pictures of your the costume that you either made or you bought, and it's like interesting to see. So I really really love photo shoots. It
Uh,
also gets like the photographer out there.
have you had mainly good experiences with photographers? Because of all the interviews I've had, like some people have had good experiences, some have great, some have had bad ones. Or have most of yours been good?
Oh yeah, all of my photographers were amazing. So
Oh, that's good.
I need that one.
A lot of cosplayers talk about like where they do their work, like if they have a room where they do it, or they just it's all over their house or all over their apartment or whatever. Do you have a certain place you do it, your cosplay work?
In my room
In your room?
or outside.
Do you tend to be like very organized with your cosplay, like when you're making it?
No,
No.
no, be organized because I have too many like ideas. So I'll probably start one cosplay. I'll probably start another. I'm starting that cosplay.
Do you like a certain style of cosplay? Not as specifically the characters, but do you like big, like completely covered characters? Do you like elaborate stuff, or do you like more subtle cosplays?
Actually, it kind of depends. Usually, I go for it's actually it kind of depends because like I like big cosplays, but I like the elaborate, really pretty cosplays, like the ones that have like the intricate detail and like it uses a lot of lace and frills and stuff like that. I like that too.
Oh, cool. Is there anything like with new cosplayers? Because like you said, photos and photo shoots make pictures look really good. And sometimes if somebody's a new cosplayer, they might look at somebody's Instagram, like such as yours, and see a picture and say like, I can never do that. It just looks too good. What would you say to a new cosplayer starting out that sees stuff like that?
I would say that you can do that. You can never say never. Like, I don't even think the stuff that I put up is like even that good. Usually I look at other cosplays and I'm envious of them and I'm very, very like, oh my God, that's so amazing. And a lot of them are very supportive. And what I would say is the same thing. Like, if you put your mind to it, you can do anything. And you don't need to be like me or anybody else. You're amazing just as you are. You can put on a cosplay. Like, a lot of people say like, oh, well, you don't have, you have to make your cosplay in order to be a cosplayer. No, you can buy your cosplay. It doesn't make you any less of a cosplayer than someone who makes their cosplay.
Yeah, like one of the big themes of like doing this podcast is talking to people about how like cosplay should be for everybody, and it should be for like all different kinds of people. It should be like you said, people who buy costumes or people who make costumes. It should be for everybody. Um, One of the things that I've been asked to ask cosplayers over time is like, have you ever had like really like a costume that you wanted to do that you tried and just couldn't do? Like you just tried your best, didn't work out, had to stop.
Yeah, I've had those.
I think it's good for people to hear that because like some people like again what I was talking about, some people think like most cosplayers who turn out really good work, like they never have those struggles, they never have those issues. Looking at your Instagram, I'm looking through some of the pictures on it. What would you say of the ones that you probably got on there is probably one of the hardest cosplays you did?
Probably the hardest cosplay that I did was possibly maybe, it's not even up there, but it was probably Great Fairy. But, Narrow Bride would have to come second because, there was a lot going on with that costume. First I had ordered it from a Wow Cosplays. By the way, that's a really good site to buy cosplays from. But I ordered it too big. So I had to like pin it, sew it, and the fabric is like a leather fabric. And when you sew leather together, it's like, it marks. So I had to pin it, and then the belt buckle like was made out of plastic, so that broke entirely. So I had to sew like flowers in its place, like put flowers in the to replace the belt buckle. So instead of like a silver belt buckle, it's like silver flowers and like on the thing. And then I added butterflies and stuff like that and other extra stuff on there just to make it look pretty. And I believe like one of the side pieces kept digging into my skin, so that was just cool.
One of those things you had to put up with the whole time you was wearing it, probably.
Yeah, it was very uncomfortable. I couldn't even sit in that cosplay.
Oh, is that one of the most uncomfortable ones you've had?
It was one of the most uncomfortable ones. That was actually the most uncomfortable cosplay I've ever been in, next to Great Fairy.
Yeah. Looking through your stuff, like, one of the things I've talked about cosplay, and one of the things that got me into wanting to do this podcast is, like, you can appreciate somebody's cosplay work and the artistry they put into it without even knowing what it's from, like, what show it's from or anything. You can look at it and say, that's just a really cool work. And I think one of the ones that might be drawn to yours is, I think it's from, you said, Devil, what's it?
Devilman.
Yeah.
Devilman Crybaby?
Yeah, that one I think is like really cool. Your photos for that look really cool, and it was that a cosplay that was something that you liked beforehand, like you liked the property from it.
Oh yeah, I loved it. It was actually it's my most comfortable cosplay, and it's the one that where I guess I'm not like I'm dressed more androgynous, so I look more masculine like Akira. So I get a lot more positive attention than I do as I guess when I dress more feminine because like I get positive attention, but then I also get sexualized a lot while when I'm dressed as like, more feminine. So I get uncomfortable.
Was the boots looking at those pictures hard for you to wear?
Yeah, because I have a bad knee, so it was just like it's like annoying to wear, but at the end of the day, I got those good shots.
Going back to what we touched on in the beginning with like some people's racist views toward other cosplayers and issues, uh, do you think the community as a whole is doing enough to address these issues overall, or do you think more people need to be outspoken about it?
I feel like more people need to be outspoken about it. I feel like they're not doing enough. I see like a lot of cosplayers now like shouting POC cosplayers out, and I'm very happy that to see that. But I feel like this hype train is going to die soon.
Yeah, you think it needs to be something that's consistent over time and not just when it's like a hot issue.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for February to see who shares cosplayers during the 28 days of cosplay, 28 days of POC cosplay.
Now I think I read about that earlier. For people who don't know anything about that, would you mind discussing that?
Okay, so February is like where February is the thing where like POC cosplayers share where anybody could share POC cosplayers for 28 days. So it's like you share, someone who's POC on your social media for 28 days who's a cosplayer. So it's like 28 days of like black cosplay or whatever. And it's like I didn't see anyone. Like I only seen POC. I only see POC share it.
Hmm. So when that comes up again, it's like going to be one of the tests of people really committed to promoting all cosplayers. You think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, did that one come up? Was that an issue? Like a controversy brought that one up, and then the latest one's another one that came up.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Oh, sorry. When that was first started, you said this is the second time, like basically the second year it's going to happen as a promoted thing. Did that came up from another issue that arose in the community before?
I feel like I guess yeah. Yeah.
Back to your personal cosplays. Do you find yourself more cosplaying like stuff that you enjoy a lot, like it's a TV show you like, or a movie you like, or a book you like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I usually pick whatever I'm interested in or whatever catches my attention.
Not want people. Some cosplayers tend to follow trends, but you're somebody that just goes with characters you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Uh, do you think the cosplay community is supportive of each other in different ways that you've talked about? Like you think people need more supportive about like supporting each other, but do you think at conventions they're usually supportive of each other?
I feel like it honestly depends. I feel like it honestly depends. I feel like a lot of cosplayers are very supportive because I couldn't believe how many people like came to my aid and defended me during this situation. But at the same time, I also feel like it's only that way because the attention was being brought to. But I know it's like impossible to try to like support every last single cosplayer. I feel like during conventions and stuff, people are very supportive of, and if they see something problematic that they easily call it out. But it honestly depends because sometimes stuff hits the fan.
What do you think conventions could do more to be supportive of like all cosplayers? Do you think they need to be more diverse in their panels and more diverse in the cosplayers they have to that come in table.
Wait, I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Oh, what do you think conventions could do to help promote a diversity in cosplay? Do you think they should have more panels with a diverse group of panelists and have more diverse guests? Like some cosplayers are guests at conventions.
Oh yeah, I think that would be helpful a lot.
Mhm.
Like,
Cool. One of the things I always ask cosplayers is if they have a funny story they could think of right off the top of their head, kind of just something that it was kind of funny and crazy that happened at a convention or anything. Do you have a story you could automatically think of?
oh yeah, I can.
Okay.
There was one time where I was at Anime Next last year, and I have a very strong love for Pyramid Head cosplayers. And while I was going up the steps on Friday, there was a Pyramid Head, and someone yelled out someone yelled, "Oh my God, there's a Pyramid Head!" So on Friday, I looked everywhere to see him, and he was not there. So I was really sad. So on Saturday, I was dressed up as 2B, and I was running around looking for the Pyramid Head, and I had left my friends to go look for him. As I do every convention, I always look for like a Pyramid Head every time I look for every convention. But I looked for him, couldn't find him. I was sad. But an emergency happened where we had to like run to our hotel room. So on our way there, we're waiting for the bus, which the shuttle at the time it usually takes about like an hour for that shuttle to come from the convention center to pick us up to go to the hotel room, which was like an hour away from the actual convention center. So we were sitting there waiting for the shuttle for that hotel, and then guess who comes out? It's Pyramid Head. So then the bus is almost about to pull up. So I ran all the way over there in heels, threw my sword, ran all the way over there and asked for a picture and got exactly what I wanted.
Do you like the aspect of cosplay where you get to go to like a hotel and travel and stuff like that, or is that just part of the work thing, or do you enjoy the travel to conventions and?
Yeah, I think it's a fun experience. When you travel to a convention and you stay at a hotel room, it's a new environment. It's better than just being clumped in your own home and then going from your house to a convention. It's way more fun. It's way more fun being in a hotel room and just being in like a con environment. It's just like less stressful. You're away from whatever is there. It's like a new space.
Do you have a convention that you would love to go to that you haven't been to yet?
I want to go to Katsucon and Otakon, and I guess some conventions in Texas, I believe, but I'm not sure what they're called. And I also kind of want to go to Anthony Quest.
Cool. When you plan out your conventions and stuff and your cosplays are you going to go to, do you give yourself like a certain amount of time to get them in? Like normally, like I know a lot of cosplayers will set out a yearly schedule. Like, oh, I'm going to this convention, so I got to make these costumes, or you just handle it as it comes.
I usually plan out everything with my group of people. Usually plan things beforehand, and then during like the months of getting ready for that said cosplay, then we go to the convention and we have everything set.
With your talking about groups, I know like it's come up that almost all cosplay groups, like the friends that are in hotel rooms or traveling together, different ones have like different almost titles. Like one will be the mom of the group, that'll be there with the sewing kits and help out, or one will be the one who drives, or one will be the one who's like the troublemaker in a fun way or something. Do you have like where you're like fit into one of those things?
I'm the troublemaker. All my group will tell you that I'm the troublemaker. I'm the one who snatches my own wig off in the hotel room. When the con is over, after the con is over, I'm going straight to in the lobby and I will snatch my wig off right there in the lobby or at the convention. It's like I'm pretty much the troublemaker.
So when you're done, right?
And when I'm done, I'm done. I'm not going back to the con.
With conventions, you talked about earlier, like going to some panels and seeing artists and stuff. What's your favorite thing not cosplay related to do at convention?
I guess just going to the artist alley and going to the shop to see what they have. But sometimes it's overpriced, and I'm just like, the only thing that I relatively see that anything that's worth buying is anything from the artist alley because I love to support artists. But aside from that, I feel like the merchants, like they sell very overpriced, but I understand because they need to, make profit from what they sell. Sometimes, occasionally, I'll buy from the market, like, maybe some food or maybe like a cute, like, little bunny thing or something that's a plushie they have oversized or something like that. But mostly, you'll catch me in the artist alley.
Are you a big collector of, like, you talked about being into anime. Are you a big collector of stuff?
Not really. I feel like my room, I already have like a lot of art stuff because I'm an artist. So since I paint a lot, I have a lot of canvases. So I don't think having like a whole bunch of sculptures, like not sculptures, but a whole bunch of figurines of like anime characters or like stuff like that would be like in my favor. I know that I like body pillows. They're great, so I collect those.
Again, like, let's say, like, thank you for agreeing to talk to me tonight. And before I go, like, usually one of the last questions I let people say is like, do you have a dream cosplay you would like to do?
Yes. My dream cosplay is in fact Pyramid Head. And Phosphorus, I think it's Phosphorus Rin. It's like this really cool version of Rin Kagami that I've been wanting to do for about 4 years, but I want to do it so bad, but I'm pretty sure that I will probably burn the house down with all the electric with all the light I've used.
So, like, to let people know again, where can they find you online that you'd like to point them to?
They can find me online on Instagram at Miizahime, or they can add me at my Facebook page, which is also at Miza or Miizahime.
Give a listen to the podcast series Brain Leakage as we live podcast every single episode of Doctor Who from An Unearthly Child on. Yes, today is a set point in time. You can't change that. Not even a Time Lord could. Brain Leakage on Tin Pod Radio.